Evening. Good evening to you. This is Dr. Gerald Thompson with Your Health Matters. And it does. It does. Your health matters. Matters to me, matters to you. It matters to a lot of people actually around you. Whether it's your boss or whether it's your employees, if you're the boss, it's your wife, your husband, your kids, your grandkids, your friends, your good friends. It matters to you. And I want to talk about something I always talk about each year. And it really is a mnemonic. I call it deals. You are your deal. What sort of deal have you basically been given, or you're giving yourself in relation to your health? Your health deals. You are your health deals. And deals spelled D-E-A-L-S. And we're going to go through all those letters. D, then E, then A, then L, and S, because this is how you really summarize your life at a particular stage when it comes to health. Now, we are in an age of a whole set of metabolic mayhem and man-made diseases. A few people do run high cholesterol, but we have in man-made diseases where the cholesterol is just running high. Some people naturally have high blood pressure, but there's a lot of man-made illness really showing up, raising, and really I'm talking about in a big way, raising your blood pressure. And then don't talk about sugar and cancer. Well, boy, cancer's occurred, but a lot of cancer today is being man-made, environmental toxins, a whole set of stuff around us in the air, in the soil. And basically, it's getting into our body, whether we're touching it or we're eating it. And boy, it is having some effects. Prostate cancer, breast cancer, a whole set of bowel cancer. We're seeing a whole ton of it. So I want to say that during your life, at any stage, you are a sum of your life's deals. You are the sum total of your life stage. You could still change your deal and give yourself a better deal. Give yourself a better deal. But this is going to be built up on the deal that you have really had so far. Whether you're 19 years old or you're 90 years old, basically, it's a matter of your life deal. Let's start off. D. What does D mean? Well, D stands for diet. Diet. Simple. So D for diet. And each food we know contains its own unique profile of micronutrients. It has a certain amount of carbohydrates in it. It has protein, it has fats, and it has these micronutrients like vitamins in them, minerals, etc. And all of us, we eat foods of which your body needs the right ratios of these things to survive. If you're eating a diet with too much carbohydrates, that ain't so good. If you're having a diet with too much protein, if you're having a diet with too much fats, isn't so nice. And if you're having a diet that you don't have no micronutrients in it, because you're eating the same fast food stuff or the same crap for years, boy, that's not nice. It could start having a toll at some stage. You could correct it and you could change your deal, but the first D is diet. You got to know and understand it. You got to know and understand it. Know what's bad. And most of us know, Kamal, you know what's bad. Your diet, you know that. But why the hell do you still eat the wrong stuff? Yeah? It tastes good. Boy, I tell you something. It may taste good because of the amount of sugar in it and the amount of carbohydrates in it. But it may not be good for you. It may not be good for you. So, where are you, and do you currently have your diet right? Are you listening to me? Where are you with your diet? Have you corrected it? Are you currently doing it right, or are you still on the old track because it tastes nice? You know what I mean? Now, D is for diet. On D, deals. The next letter is E. And you know what? Inside food, I was telling you, the main ones are carbohydrates, protein, and fat, all right? But then there's something called extracts. You know? And these are found in fresh, natural foods. We eat these fresh, natural foods, fruits, and so forth, and they contain high quantities of what they call micronutrients and other phytonutrients. It's important that keep us healthy. Sadly, our diets today lack or have even eliminated these crucial phytonutrients. Some people eating stuff that ain't got those phytonutrients in it. These phytonutrients are mopping up toxins that will cause cancer, that will cause diabetes, cause a problem. And if you don't have them, you're on a slow train to problems, a slow train, a slow carriage to health problems. So E is for extracts. D, E, A. Well, A is all your actions and activities. What are the actions and activities? Let's go down. What about your habits? Do you get at least 8 hours of sleep at night? What of the window of eating, right? Do you eat too early, too late, or do you do it like Goldilocks, just right? You know what I mean? And then exercise. Have you been exercising 30 minutes a day? 30 minutes a day? Have you been getting some rigorous exercise 30 minutes a day? Have you? Maybe not. You've been sitting down for 30 minutes times 20, you know? And anxieties. Are you able to have a normal response to anxiety? Has anxiety in your life become harmful and toxic? So it's harmful, toxic anxiety, where you shake and you can't think straight and it affects the way you work. Anxiety, anxious. And let me ask you, in relation to the timing of your meal, do you eat regularly on time? And meals, are you well hydrated? Do you drink enough water? All these things, your actions, your activities, these are your actions and activities. The things you're doing bad and the things you're doing good. How do you balance all these things? Now, number 4, the L, means your life story, your health journey. Your health journey, what is it? Let's start from the beginning. Genetics. Do you know if you have any genetic predispositions? Have you checked, or can you check? In other words, is there sickle cell in your family? Are there diseases that have been shown to have a genetic predisposition, and it is in your life, in your family history, maybe on your mother's side or your father's side? Do you know? Do you know this? It's good to know. Now, how about the family history itself? diseases of other family members, your brother, your uncle, they had some disease or something that they say it runs in family. Do you have it? If you're a family member, do you have it? Diseases running in family doesn't mean every family member will have it, but are you the one who's been spared? Are you the one who is lucky? Or do you have it and did not know? Do you have it and did not know? Now, your life journey, what are past injuries? When did these injuries occur? If you fell out of a plum tree, right, at 18 years old, I can tell you that by the time you are 48, 30 years later, you are going to start having some back problems. And by 58, you will have some big problems. You know, if you broke a leg or in a bad car accident, come on, you were in a bad car accident. Well, no, you weren't. No, okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Well, if you were in a bad car accident, get knocked out. Me, I was driving in New York around Grand Army Plaza in Brooklyn, and a car just out of nowhere slammed into me. Was driving on the wrong side trying to take somebody to the airport. I pushed back in my chair. I then got pulled forward, hit the windscreen, broke my wrist, one of the bones in my wrist, broke my patella bone, my knee, snapped the seat belt. I couldn't believe you could snap a seat belt. I was going through the windscreen. I got knocked out. I woke up in an ambulance and they were saying they carry me to a hospital. I said, don't worry, I'm a doctor. Carry me to my hospital, the Methodist hospital. And so they did. And I got some nice treatment there. Let me tell you that. I got some nice, but moral of that story is that because of that injury, will things come back to haunt me? Will I have pains later on and things like that? Well, I haven't had any yet. I'm all right now, but next year and the year after, 5 years, 10 years from now, will I be all right as a result of that injury? You know, whiplash injury, all those kind of things. Your back, you know, your backbones and your hip bones and your knee bones. Oh boy, I tell you that. So past injuries, when did they occur? And their current and long-term effects, if any. Your level of recovery. Did you recover from these illnesses? You know, some people, they break a leg, but guess what? They find they're walking with a little hip and drop, with a little limp. And you know what? Later on, they find that hip and drop started to bend their spine. So they have now a hip and drop, and now the spine is bent, and the spine, when it's bent, could start to pinch a nerve, all because of an injury that occurred 20, 30 years ago. You know? So, you know, your level of recovery, have you recovered fully? And later on, how does that injury manifest or remanifest itself later in life? Now, what are the bad things that happen to you? You know, you got to add them cumulatively, you know, with any serious effect. What are the bad things that happen to you at 6 years old, at 10, at 20, 30? Come on, any bad things really happen to you? You know, probably not, eh? You wouldn't say and talk about, you know, but a lot of people have had many episodes of bad things happening to them in their health. You know, I mentioned broken leg. I mentioned being knocked out, you know, being injured, all sorts of things, a bus accident or what. Now, what about the bad things you did, we did? Not the bad things that happened to you, the bad things you did. Now, here we get down to smoking cigarettes, using drugs, using and consuming alcohol in excess, the things you did in excess. What about unprotected sex? What about not taking vaccines for like measles, mumps, and those sort of things? Did that happen to you? Or your parents didn't give you because they don't believe in vaccines? What about stress? I'm talking about physical stress, mental stress, psychological stress. Have you been under this in your lifetime? And has it been sudden or short? Or was it chronic or long? Now, what about your stress avoidance techniques? How have you been able to cope with stress? Have you learned the techniques of learning how to cope? Come on. Have you learned how to cope with stress? To modulate it. A lot of people have not learned and don't know, and boy, the stress start to get at them. And the side effects is blood pressure gone up, diabetes, sugar gone up. The stress loves to increase sugar, strokes, all kind of things. People are grumpy and they don't have good relationship because of stress. And then, so I've gone with D for diet, E for extracts, A for the actions, right? The actions. Then L is life story. What has really happened in your life over the last 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, depending on how old you are. It could be something that happened to you when you were a baby. It's all these things could come back and haunt you. It's good to know. Good for the doctor to know. So the last one, DEALS, supplements. You now need to take. Now, if you have not taken extracts in your meals, if you just have not been getting the extracts that are essential in your meal, you should add these same extracts as supplements to supplement your food. And the most important of which are supplements is vitamins. Vitamins are the most important supplements. Now, there are 13 essential vitamins, which means that these vitamins are required for the body to work properly, but your body cannot make them. Your body makes a lot of chemicals inside. Your body, your liver, your kidneys, all these places, they make important substances that your body needs. But some of these substances your body needs, you gotta bring it in with your diet. You gotta put it in to your mouth and swallow it and let it marinate inside your body. If not, you are gonna have serious problems. Now, we say the vitamins. You've heard it many times before. I'm gonna repeat it. Vitamins A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K are what they call fat-soluble vitamins. That means that they can be stored in your body, in your fatty tissue in your thigh, your buttocks. They can be stored there. You could put away some for a rainy day so you don't run out, right? They can be stored in your liver, in fatty tissue, and in muscles, if I don't put it that way. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. And I'll come back to this list in a moment. Now, vitamin C and vitamin B, vitamin C and B vitamins, they essentially, you can't store them in your body. So whatever you eat in your diet, those vitamins C and vitamin B, they only last for a short space of time. They do their work, and then they're destroyed in your body. Your body, there's a way of getting rid of them. You know what I mean? But the body gets rid of them like by mistake. You just urinating them out in your liver in the natural course of cleaning up your body and detoxifying your body. It'll flush out some of your vitamins too. Now, let's go through the vitamins. Vitamin B1 is called thiamine. Very important vitamin. Vitamin B2 is called riboflavin. Then vitamin B3 is called niacin. Then vitamin B5 is pantothenic acid. Pantothenic acid. B6 is pyridoxine. B6 is pyridoxine. B7 is biotin. Biotin. B9 is folate, and B12 is a very important vitamin. Has a funny name, cyanocobalamin. Cyanocobalamin. Do we need to know those names? We don't need to know those names, but for those people who want those vitamins, you may know them as B12. Now, you may say, that's strange. I didn't hear about the vitamin B4. You skipped out 4. And what about vitamin B7? You know, you skip those out. And vitamin B8. There's a vitamin B7 is biotin. Biotin. But what about vitamin B8? Is this a vitamin? Well, I'll tell you a secret. Long ago, when they were developing the list of vitamins, there were a lot more vitamins. They had things like vitamin I, vitamin L, vitamin M, vitamin, all going down the list, all the way down. But guess what? They had to throw out those vitamins. The same way they had to throw out vitamin 8, right? And throw out vitamin 4 because they found your body made small amounts of them, right? I could get into what the names of these things. Let me just tell you, curcumin, that is a substance found in turmeric. It's not a vitamin. But do you know onions, especially red onions, has something called quercetin? Quercetin. And believe it or not, that used to be once called a vitamin. But your body makes a small amount of it. So they took it off of the list, and we no longer see it as a real vitamin. So vitamins, there's only 13 of them that your body really needs because your body can't make them. Now, I want to say this. There are lots of people who have medicine cabinets, and they got big bottles of all these things, and they take one. In fact, they say for good measure, they take a handful of each of them and throw it down, mix it up in their tea and so on. Well, I tell you something, you're wasting a lot of it. A lot of it is being wasted. Vitamin B and vitamin C are water soluble, and so they basically cannot be stored in your body. They'll get passed out in your urine. They get destroyed, in your liver as well. But, the fatty vitamins, A, D, E, K, are stored in your liver and so. But the vitamin B and vitamin C, they are quickly removed from your body. So they work, they do their thing, and within a very short space of time, they're gone. So guess what that means? You have to supplement those vitamins continually. And I want to say, yes, you could pop a tablet and pop a pill that says this supplement also, or you could take a multivitamin that has in a lot of different ones in one tablet, or you could get it in your diet, knowing the right diet to get it. And that's the most natural way, I think, Now, so I'm saying that some vitamins, vitamin-like nutrients, are needed in your body. Let me tell you, there's a vitamin-like substance, not a vitamin, called choline. Do you know the yellow in the egg has in a ton of choline? Boy, it's important. And long ago, Matter of fact, in the 80s and 90s, the word came out, don't eat no yellow part, only eat the white of the egg. That wasn't right. That wasn't right. We found out that the yellow has in choline. You get from other things, but boy, that's a nice source of choline, right? Then carnitine. I'm saying these words because I want to tell you your body needs a lot of these little things. Carnitine and I remember, as I mentioned to guayacetin, foods rich in choline are liver, eggs, egg yolk, as in 20% of what you need, and red meat. But I'm not advocating so much red meat. But these things tend to have higher saturated fats, though. Now, choline is also found in foods like salmon and cod and tilapia, and chicken breasts has in some peas having some choline. Choline can help reverse a lot of liver damage, and which is a big growing problem. We take a break, we'll come back, we'll open up the lines, and we'll talk a little more about this.
People's Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical, skin and body care needs. Located on Grenville Street in Kingstown. They open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday. Call them today at 784-456-1170. People's Pharmacy also stock vitamins and supplements, personal care items, toiletries, children and adult pampers, and much, much more. And of course, get your prescriptions filled by a friendly and professional pharmacist. People's Pharmacy. Come in today and let us serve you.
Thank you very much. So I've been talking about supplements, and in the world of health and wellness, navigating today the sea of supplements require careful consideration. There are many supplements out there that can be helpful to you when it comes to meeting your daily requirement for these supplement substances, especially the intake of essential nutrients, essential vitamins and other nutrients. But there are many supplements that aren't worth your money. They're not worth it, In addition to steering clear of supplements that come with dangerous side effects. It's important to keep in mind that some are simply ineffective and a waste of your money. Now, I've got to say that very carefully because I'm a believer in supplements. All I'm saying is that there are some supplements that are a waste of money and don't work, and whoever the manufacturer is, or just that you may not have need it, but you're taking it and it's being pissed out. Can I say that, Kamal?
Already said.
Yeah? When I say it again, I don't say it again. I can't say it again. He said, I can't say it again. Somebody will. I didn't curse, Yes. Me, S-E-D. It's not a four-letter word. It's not. So really, we gotta look at this. Now, there's something called multivitamins. You gotta know that there are some good multivitamins. I've always known one called Centrum or Nature Made or One a Day. One a Day. Have you heard those before? Yeah, these are some of the popular ones, and they go through some manufacturing process in it. But studies have been shown that sometimes, boy, you get some cheap ones, and so it has been made in a certain place in a part of the world, and they're not up to scratch, they're up to standard. So you gotta have the right brand, right sauce, and so forth. But I still go back to, it's a waste. Why not get it from your diet, knowing what foods contain what, and this is going to be important. Now, remember, you could hit me with some questions, maybe 4, 5, 79997. Give us a call, WhatsApp, or straight. We'd certainly love to have you as part of the discussion or answer any question that you might ask. We think that's important. Now I wanna just go through something. This is vitamin B. Something called biotin is often marketed as a great option for a range of health needs, especially when it comes to beauty. Biotin. However, this is a supplement. Accordingly, excessive intake of biotin could be detrimental to your health, and biotin can actually deplete other B vitamins. Taking biotin supplement can deplete other B vitamin if you're taking excessive amounts. I'm not trying to tell you you hear biotin and you're thinking, boy, I'm never going to take that. But if you need that supplement, only take the right recommended dose. Don't stock up. Don't shovel down 50, 60 pills, mix them up and think you'll correct any deficiency you've had for several years. I didn't take this for several years, but let me catch up. Don't try and catch up, on the years you didn't take stuff. Just start doing what is right, what's recommended, Now, how about collagen? Have you heard of that? Collagen is another popular supplement, right? That's often touted as a helpful option, especially in the beauty industry. A lot of people have been taking, but you can oftentimes get a lot of collagen through your food, and nice sauces is a bone meal or bone broth, a beef broth. What do they call it? Beef cook up. All these things, but having it with the bones, and so it's really good. And those bones, cow or goat, the collagen is right at the end of the bone. Sauce is a bit like that too. You know what I mean? Do you eat sauce? I love sauce. And eggs also has biotin. The challenge that there's widespread belief that in terms of collagen, it's necessary to supplement with it. And I think this has to be examined. I'm not really too sure. Now, what about probiotics? Probiotics. You heard of probiotics? Yeah. What is really probiotic? Come on, do you know what probiotics is? Do you have any idea what it is?
I'm going to talk about it right now.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, in your gut, there's a lot of bacteria. And guess what? You got some good ones and you got some bad ones. Most of them are good. Now, you also have some other stuff. You have some fungus and all sorts of other things mixed up in your stool, in your intestines. But bacteria, there's normally a lot of good ones. And there's a small amount of not so good ones, bad ones. But if for any reason, because of, again, dieting or what you've been eating, you could, maybe sometimes if you take antibiotics, right, you could kill off the good bacteria and some of the bad bacteria leave back. Well, the bad bacteria then multiply quickly and fill up your intestines. When I say fill it up, the percentage of bad bacteria, as it starts getting above 10%, 15%, that's not good. And those bad bacteria, some of them can release toxins. They can screw up. They can be sending you to the bathroom all the time. You could have diarrhea. You could have vomiting. You have belly pain. Belly cramps is usually belly cramp, bloating, all that kind of stuff. It's from just not having the right type of bacteria. But some people take probiotics, and probiotics is standardized good bacteria. And when you swallow it, it's supposed to repopulate your intestine with good bacteria. There's been a lot of questions about it, but probiotics is good. Now, what about prebiotic? Have you heard of prebiotic? Prebiotic is fiber. Fiber, boy, there's good stuff. I'm not going to talk about that today. But what I would say is that I've been going through deals and a number of things that is how you should look at your health. Your diet is the main thing. Then another part of the diet is, have you been eating foods with the right extracts so that your body can extract those special things from the food to keep you healthy, keep away cancer, control this, control that, extracts. Yeah? But your life is also a function of your actions and activities. Your actions and activities and how your exercise, how you're doing, you know what I mean? And I've gone through a lot of actions and activities that you should be questioning, your habits. How do you eat? Do you get 3 meals a day? Or do you eat everything just at once in the evening? You know what I mean? Do you have a massive breakfast? You have no lunch, no dinner? What is it? You know what I mean? Do you drink water? Do you drink fluids, the right amount? Your actions, I mean, are you just predisposed to anxiety? Have you become anxious recently? You know? And all these kind of things. Exercise. Do you exercise? Exercise. How do you exercise? How long? All them kind of things. Those are the A's. And then L is your life story. I'm talking about your past history. We take a call here, you know, and then supplements. Let's hello. Hello, good evening.
Yes. Dr. Thompson?
Yes.
Not what we're discussing, but should we be cautious about the outbreak of measles in Texas?
Let me say yes. Not because of Texas, but with John F. Kennedy now coming into play, and Texas has been a state that increasingly has been allowing persons to say, I don't want no vaccine. It's my right. It's my fundamental God-given right, my right of conscience not to have a vaccine. And that I want my kid to still get into school and get into college and get into university, right? I feel that the vaccine will affect them. So Texas has been a state where there's been a higher percentage of kids not taking the vaccine. So what they found in Texas is that this is a backlash, that there's a measles outbreak and it's predominantly affecting kids who never got their MMR vaccine when they were young. So they're not
As a
protected.
matter of fact, Dr. Thompson, I got the impression that they thought that the measles was extinct. They thought
Yes.
it was no longer
Because they keep it low.
whatever.
Now, measles is the most highly contagious disease known to man. I'm going
And
to
they
repeat.
keep on emphasizing that too.
I'm going to repeat that it's the most contagious. The virus literally jumps. Anybody with measles, I mean, if they go, it doesn't need to go into a crowd, you know. It just like, does somebody with measles just touch someone or come close? A host of the other people get it. We don't know. It just, you know, it's like a phantom thing. But really, it's real. The virus spreads.
I must confess, Dr. Thompson, when we were young, very, very young, every single one of us as children had measles at one and the same time.
Well, can I tell you something? St. Vincent can boast to 100% measles vaccination, or let me say 99.99% vaccination. But I believe that coming out of, and I will tell you that court case that went through, if that goes through, there will be a ton of people who would also say, it ain't just COVID alone. It's my God-given right not to have a vaccine, period. And then you will see outbreaks. You hear about fleas, you hear there, outbreak. Instead, it ain't gonna be fleas and foot and mouth. That happens. You know what I mean? That happens, depending on the circumstances.
Dr. Thompson, let me get off here. Let you know. Thank you.
No, but I want to say, what bothers me,
Okay,
and thank you very much. I don't know if anybody has ever witnessed it. Do you know a certain percentage of kids and people who catch measles, the measles doesn't just give them some spots and give them a fever. The measles goes to their brain and causes an encephalitis. It turns their brain into porridge. It turns their brain into porridge. You know? The measles can also go to the heart and cause a whole ton of problems. But worse, have you heard of measles pneumonia? Measles pneumonia? Now, I have seen measles pneumonia. I had to treat it. I start giving antibiotics until we find it's measles. We're putting on space suits to go in because luckily I got it, but I could potentially, if it is worn off because I'm an older individual, I could also catch it. So I got to put on triple gloves. I got to put on a special mask, not the mask we've been using for COVID. When I go into a room, I got to use a special mask. And so 1 or 2 cases of measles is all right. But if people are vaccinated, they essentially will stop the spread of the measles to other people where the vaccine may have started to wear off a little bit, or where they decide not to get it. But if a whole ton of people ain't get it, a whole village ain't get it because a church, they belong to a church or belong to a community group or belong to a thinking, boy, watch out, watch out. That's a serious, serious issue. So we should not be worried that anybody from Texas will infect anybody in St. Vincent. That's not going to take place. We should be worried that people are going to learn from the experience of Texas in Europe, all this kind of stuff. I don't know if you realize that around the year 2000, a doctor in England published a paper that the vaccine that we know and receive causes autism. Let me repeat the autism. I'm sorry I said Alzheimer's. It begins with A. Autism in kids. Well, guess what? In France, a whole ton of people stopped their kids getting the vaccine. And the measles vaccination rate wasn't 100% in England and France. It started to drop to 80%. Anytime the vaccination rate drops for measles, drops below 95%, watch out. Watch out. Much less if it starts dropping to 60%, 50%. If it starts dropping there, expect you're going to get cases of measles pneumonia and measles encephalitis. But guess what? 10 years later, they found out that this particular doctor had cooked the books, had fabricated the whole process. He had lied. And he was developing his own vaccine to make some money, patented it, put it in his wife's name, It was a horrible thing. And they disbanded him. They disbarred him from being a doctor in England. He went over to America and joined up with the anti-vax groupings. This is a true story. And during that time, measles outbreaks started coming all over the place. Luckily, when they disbarred him, it was well publicized, and people said, oh boy, let me go and get my kid vaccinated now. And they went back up. But things have started dropping again, and I expect it to drop. So I'm hoping in the Vincentian community here in St. Vincent and the diaspora that people don't take that chance and say, it's my God-given right not to have my kids have any vaccine, and take it in that direction. Ladies and gentlemen, any other questions? Any other thing? I'm really glad for that question, because that Texas thing has been bothering me, you know, and I watched that. But there have been many others. There are many other places where they're having measles outbreak. You know, I lived in Brooklyn. There's a particular type of Jewish person called the Hasidic Jews. They don't want to take measles vaccine. You know what? They had to bring a court order to make them have their kids take the vaccine. They had to make them, because the rabbis and so said, no, we're not doing it. And then they had to make them do it. Why? Because there was massive outbreaks and so in their community, in certain parts of Brooklyn, and it was causing major problems. It was causing major problems. These measles outbreak can lead to death for something that is now preventable. So I just want to I mean that wasn't the process of my story. But I touched on that when I was saying your life story. You know, your life story. Have you been vaccinated? I could talk about whether you smoke, whether you drink rum, whether you do drugs, but have you also been vaccinated? Did you get vaccines for this and vaccines for that? And it isn't always that all the vaccines work 100%, but have you lowered your risk of catching these things? These things are important, you know? Yes, so I don't know if there are any other calls, any questions. 457-9997. We want you to understand the term deals and what kind of health deal has you set out for yourself, your diet, the extracts from the food that are in the food that your body will extract. Not you will extract, but your body will extract. You know? And then the actions and activities you get involved in, the bad ones and the good ones, the smoking, alcohol, and all this stuff, the bad ones, the exercise and other things that you might do. And then your life story. What's going on in your family? Do you have that too? Do you know if you have that? Is it something that manifests itself when people are 40? Is it something that manifests itself when people are teenagers? Or it manifests itself when people are very elderly? All these questions are important questions you need to ask yourself. Is there family history of certain things? And then supplements, and I've been going through supplements, what they mean, and so on. And so I want to say that you can sometimes take too many vitamins. You could take, we are finding, and it's been strange, when I went to medical school, I learned that Black people have no problems at all. The darker you are, the more vitamin D you will produce. You will manufacture, and our skin is a vitamin D producing magnet, whereas white folks, they have problems, you know, but being in the tropics, we are all right. Well, that thinking has changed very much. And we're now realizing that where the vitamin D is produces a section of our skin below the pigment, below the melanin. So sometimes the melanin shields those cells below from generating the right amount of vitamin D, especially if you're a person who's in the studio all the time. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a person who, is indoors all the time, like in a nursing home. And maybe you come out onto the veranda, but there's no sun hitting you on the veranda because the veranda is sheltered. The sun may not be coming in, and nobody wants to sit down in sun or fall asleep inside. You ever fallen asleep in the sun? No, you don't want that. So it is a very interesting phenomena that we see that a lot of Black people have vitamin D deficiency. Farmers, policemen on the beat, people at the airport, they will get a lot of nice sun. They will get a lot of nice sun. Landscapers and so they get some good sun, and that's fine. But there are a lot of people who are living now in air-conditioned units, right? And in their bedroom and the thing, and they want to keep cool, and that's all right. You could do that. But by not getting any sunshine, right, to generate the melanin, to generate the vitamin D in your skin and penetrate past that melanin layer if you're Black, then you could have some problems. And it's recommended that you may need to take some supplements. There's a test you could do. A vitamin D test, folks. I joined at the hospital lab, and we could check and see what your vitamin D level. And you could then receive certain other type of supplements. It's an experiment, and doesn't necessarily, mean that you will show vitamin D deficiency. But boy, if you do, we want to know if it is and give you a supplement that you could take. Now, do you know some people could take too much vitamin D? You could pack yourself up with that. People have been taking that for you, and you could take too much, and it could cause major problems. You take too much of many things, vitamin A, and so problems, major problems. Don't take too much. So the recommendation of packages and so, in terms of how to really take these things. Come on, we got 5 minutes to go. I don't know. You have any questions? And so, all right. I am really looking to ask the listeners, have you given yourself a great or good or great health deal? How are you doing with your diet? I'm repeating myself, yes. How are you eating foods that have a lot of other nutrients that your body can extract? I mean, others say being just on chicken and French fries is not that healthy. Especially with the type of oil and so it might be fried. It's not that healthy. It's not that good. If you are an ice cream person, you just live on ice cream, right? That's not good, right? If you just eat a whole ton of bread and cake and so, that's not nice. That's not nice. You're gonna get in some big trouble later on, And wheat bread. Yes, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Wheat bread, there's a lot that you could really do to really improve your own health. And I think it's always important that you know your life story, the injuries, the family history, and things that could come and haunt you, and bite you, and that there are going to be circumstances that you have nothing at all to do about it. The genetics, You may have inherited sickle cell. That's not your fault, but you have to live with it. You could have a family history of cancer of the bowels. You have a family history of prostate cancer, right? You gotta look for all these things, because telling the doctor can be very helpful, because shorten the diagnosis, can let them zero in on certain type of conditions. So always know the family history of uncles and aunts and grandparents, and so it's good to know these things. And I was talking after life stories. I mean, S is of course supplements, and we can do an absolute great deal with supplements. If you haven't been getting the extracts from your food, go for some supplements. Go for some supplements. If you're a person who's on the quick on the go, all up and down the place and so forth, then try out a few supplements, see if your body could tolerate it, and so, and then step it up to the right amount, and so. I don't advocate having 20 bottles of things that you never heard about before. There's only a limited number that you rarely need. And the rest is just marketing brata, getting you to buy more stuff. But it's important that you get the right stuff. You do the right thing. And this will go a long way. Your health truly does matter. It matters to me. Most of all, it should matter to you. You don't want a bad diagnosis. You don't want a cancer diagnosis. You don't want a heart attack diagnosis. You don't want stroke. You don't want any of these kind of things. And a lot of people are heading in that direction. A lot of people have not been dealing themselves a good hand. They've not been really taking good care of themselves, just rushing through by the minute, joy by the minute. I am very, very appealing to you. What is your deal? And how are you laying it out? Remember that mnemonic, DEALS. And I want to bid everybody a very pleasant good evening and good night.
People's Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical, skin, and body care needs. Located on Grenville Street in Kingstown. They open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday. Call them today at 784-456-1170. People's Pharmacy also stock vitamins and supplements, personal care items, toiletries, children and adult pampers, and much more. And of course, get your prescriptions filled by a friendly and professional pharmacist. People's Pharmacy. Come in today and let us serve you.
Turn up your radio to the clean fresh sound of WeFM 99.9.
Life is meant to be an open celebration, not enslavement to addictions, human traditions, or mediocrity. Are you living abundantly?
Health of our society, the future and health of our homes depends largely on how we do what God expects us to do.
Join Dr. Claudius Davis on the Full and Abundant Life program here on WeFM 99.9, Wednesdays 9 to 10 p.m. as he explores the elements that might be robbing you and keeping you from realizing your full potential.
It is time to break those chains of bondage. It is time to shake off what's been holding you back.
The Full and Abundant Life program, 9 to 10 p.m. every Wednesday on WeFM 99.9 with Dr. Claudius Davis.
Lord, I keep so busy praising my Jesus. Keep so busy praising my Jesus. Keep so busy praising my Jesus. Ain't got time to die, 'cause when I'm a helping the sick, when I'm a helping the sick, I'm a helping the sick, Time to die, 'cause it takes all of my time.
This is WFM 99.9, the Clean First Sound. Just 1 minute after 9 o'clock. It's time for us to present to you this evening's Full and Abundant Life Radio program, hosted by Dr. Claudius Davis. Comes your way each and every Wednesday from 9 until 10. You can be a part of this evening's program, and we want to hear from you. 457-9997 is the number to call. 457-9997 is the number to send your WhatsApp messages. And place that WhatsApp call as well. So without further ado, I'm going to turn you over to Dr. Davis and welcome him. So Dr. Davis, good night and welcome. Haven't seen any thus far. I guess everybody's quiet tonight. Thank you very much, Dr. Davis, and thanks again for our wonderful, full and abundant life radio program that's being aired right here on WeFM. We do appreciate you. Well, folks, it's we've got actually 2 minutes. You had 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes. That's much appreciated. All right, Dr. Davis, thanks again. Certainly, I mean, I tell you, it's always a pleasure having you on a Wednesday evening here on WeFM. And I'm sure that the folks, even though that we're not hearing from them, I mean, we would certainly, I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear them sometimes. But I believe that they're listening, and it's just one of those programs that they probably prefer to listen than to interject and probably throw you off your train of thought or ask something and send you in a different direction. All right, so great. So you will listen to the Full and Abundant Life Radio program. Comes your way each and every Wednesday from 9 until 10. God's willing, do join Dr. Davis next Wednesday right here on WeFM for another Full and Abundant Life Radio program. 10 o'clock here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and across the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. It's also signal time for me to bounce on out of here. I want to say it was a pleasure being here as always. Being able to musically entertain you from 6 this evening with the smooth grooves and, of course, lending technical assistance to both interactive programs. God's willing, I'll be back with you on Sunday to take care of your Sunday Classics program. Until then, do continue to enjoy the rest of the night. And always remember to be good, be kind, love you all. My name is Kamal Archibald. Until then, do take care. I'm gone.
99.9
WEFM.